Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. Today was my first day of the Whole30 challenge, and I figured that April was going to be the perfect month to do 30 days of clean eating to reset my nutrition, hopefully decrease the inflammation in my body. And honestly, with everybody being in quarantine, I have no social excuses, no reasons why I wouldn't be able to stick to a program for 30 days. And if being more isolated or being home more makes me want to eat more or more often or just snack, then I figured that it would be a good time to actually get on a program so that I could stay disciplined in a time where like boredom eating and rainy season is like making everybody want to eat more. So that's what I'm doing, and this is just kind of a rough vlog of how I prepared and what I am starting this program with as far as what food I'm eating. Okay, so I just got back from Aldi, and some of the food that I'm gonna show you I already had in my pantry, or in my freezer, but yeah, I think that I did pretty well. So let's just go over the groceries that I got and how I'm preparing for my first week of Whole30. So the book, it starts with food, says to build your plate around protein. So I have 3 protein sources for this week. The first I already had in my freezer, and that is this chicken, fresh ground turkey, and then last I have eggs. Moving on to fats. I got avocados. I also have chia seeds, and then I've never actually cooked with this, but this is clarified butter. It's the one dairy product that they approve of because it has certain things removed from it and it's clarified butter. Then moving to vegetables, I have a bunch of these like frozen broccoli florets and frozen mixed vegetable bags in my freezer. The potatoes that I have, I'm not gonna be like macking out on potatoes because that's like, I wanna have a variety of vegetables, and then I have like a bunch of salad for my lunches and stuff. I also have green beans. Technically, like, green beans are an exception to the legume family in Whole30. I also have salsa, which I just put that in the fruit area. I don't know why. As far as fruit, I do have some apples. These were left over from when Itzel came over. And then I have raspberries and kiwi. So over here we have the tub of things that I'm going to eat probably within the next 5 days before I actually start Whole30. So it included like pita bread and tzatziki sauce, some gluten-free cookies, low-calorie ice cream, 100-calorie packed cookies, and some dark chocolate. That bucket of what would be considered junk food is like diet junk food. That's actually a typical thing that I would eat any normal week. So I was proud of myself because I don't consider Whole30 and this like nutritional reset to be a diet. This is a way for me to find what foods really work well with my body and what foods my body rejects or my body like reacts negatively to. So I am not approaching this with like a pre-diet mentality where it's like I have to, eat my last meal before I can, never enjoy those foods again. First of all, this is not a guarantee that I'm going to be cutting out certain foods like altogether. I'm just cutting it out for the 30 days so I can see how my body does without those foods. So like I was tempted to buy like a big DiGiorno's like rising crust pizza, like something that I would normally have binged on in the past, but I had already done so much work to like not indulge in those foods anymore. So I hadn't actually eaten a pizza like that in a really long time. So why would I start now just because I'm about to start Whole30? Like I didn't want to erase the progress that I had already made just for the sake of indulging one last time before I was cleansing my body of that negative intruder type food.
groceries, which I'm trying to limit my amount of grocery runs, but I'm realizing that I probably don't have everything that I need. I was gonna make chicken, but realized that ghee doesn't really do well with like cooking chicken. So I got olive oil, because that's a good oil on Whole30. I got more salsa because I like my salsa, okay? I also got olives as an alternative fat source, because chia seeds are not always cutting it for me. And then I got grapes, raspberries, and blackberries, and some more eggs. I know nothing, clearly. I didn't even have olive oil in my pantry. So I'm learning the basics. It's going pretty okay right now. I definitely was like having to remind myself like, no, you can't just go to the vending machine and get chocolate whenever you want chocolate. That's not a thing for you anymore. In addition to like diet soda or, something that I didn't actually even realize was gonna be like annoying is like getting emails from random companies. Like Quick Trip emailed me with this, like I opened the email and it's a picture of pizza and I'm like, what are you doing to me, Quick Trip? I'm angry at you. We're fighting right now. So there were a few unexpected things that happened today that it's kind of interesting that looking back on the day, the Whole30 day-by-day journal that I'm going to be filling out for the next 30 days actually addressed the two main things that I was like kind of freaking out about. First of all, like their morning reading section in this journal just gave a pep talk for the first day. And I actually thought that I was going to have a lot of motivation and a lot of like courage or confidence when it came to like switching my eating habits, but then as it actually came closer and closer to the day, it was like, it's a little bit daunting to be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start this for 30 days and I'm not gonna do any like cheat anything because I'm going to completely cleanse my body and stick with this program. So the fact that like this morning's reading was a pep talk, I'm like, thank you. And then another thing that happened was like, okay, so I just showed you my little grocery trips. And I did not plan the way that I really ought to have because I didn't need more eggs and I didn't need more fruit. So, and then I also like forgot to grab olive oil, which is like the main cooking oil that I'll be using throughout this program. So it's kind of like I probably needed to plan more, which I did not do. But you know, I'm not beating myself up over it, but that's exactly what day one was, like a pep talk and then listing resources for meal planning and getting more ideas for meals. I did another unexpected thing though, is I found out that I am a genius when it comes to cooking. Did you see the picture of the dinner that I made today? It was like, what? Anyway, it was really good. And I think I had probably lacked that confidence of actually making food, like, and putting together a balanced meal. I figured like, oh, you know, it's either prepackaged protein bars or when I cook, it's gotta be like Thanksgiving dinner kind of like intense detail and planning. And honestly, it was just like, oh, this is my protein, which I had already planned at least. And let's just throw some of this and some of that and some seasonings and make it so good, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. And I'm so excited about that. So we'll see. I do have a couple of of challenges that I can foresee in the future. Number one being breakfast. This morning was rough. I don't know how much I'm gonna edit of the clip from this morning, but oh my gosh. Number one, I'm not used to eating breakfast. I'm used to waiting until noon because that was kind of my intermittent fasting-ish kind of schedule, which I don't think I was doing well, so I wasn't really experiencing results from it. So that doesn't say anything about intermittent fasting. That just says my dedication to that particular routine. But I wasn't really used to eating breakfast. So the last thing that sounded appetizing was like eggs cooked with ghee and an avocado with Valentina. But it was actually pretty delicious. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is the fact that I cooked breakfast. I cooked like a weekend breakfast on a Wednesday morning. That I don't think is gonna be able to be pulled off every single day for 30 days. I think I'm gonna need your help. So in the comments below, please suggest some other kind of breakfast go-to thing that I might be able to make in advance, even if it's like a frittata or something. I don't even know. I don't even know. So that's one thing. And the second challenge that I'm like, ugh, this is gonna be kind of weird, is the fact that they want you, in the book, It Starts With Food, they talked about eating intentionally. So not eating while watching Netflix, eating and like sitting down and not multitasking at work, not in front of a screen at all. Just sit and eat and enjoy your food, which just sounds as perfect as a magazine person, but that's not me. And actually, I just posted on my Patreon page that I have a history of like just wanting to drown out my thoughts with Netflix and stuff like that. That's drip, drip, drip part one. And that's kind of where I'm coming from with regards to food, binge eating disorder and stuff like that. But as far as like eating solo, I don't want it to become something where it's like I'm that old man in the dining room table in those like Super Bowl commercials or something, where like he's eating a full dinner with his like glass of wine alone at a dining room table with only like one light in his house on, and he's just sitting there alone in silence. And that's how I feel when I eat alone. It's not, it's not a nice feeling. I did make it through today quite well though. I scarfed down breakfast and I ended up talking to my friend in Australia because it was like 6:15 my time and 10:15 p.m. her time. And then lunch I ate in the car and it was sunny, so it wasn't depressing. I just like listened to music. And then instead of eating at my desk while doing work. So that was a victory in and of itself. And then tonight, the sun was shining and my food was tasting so good. So it wasn't a challenge today, but I can see how that might be a challenge in the future. Whoever has watched to this point in the video, I'm so excited that you're here. And honestly, all of your comments and your encouragement is just like, it gives me a little bit more courage to face this. It's not just the matter of eating clean or being disciplined in my eating habits. For me, I've been on a very long journey with regards to healing with my relationship with food. And this is an exciting step where I'm not ashamed about the food that I eat. And I'm actually really excited to nourish my body and not harm my body anymore with food. So this is deeply meaningful to me. And the fact that you guys are on this journey with me, and when you guys comment or even just like a post on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, like, I just am so encouraged because this is no longer an isolated part of my life. It's not something that I hide behind, and it's not something that I'm trapped by. I'm really on a very fast track to food freedom, and I can't thank you guys enough for the support that you give. I'm like getting emotional right now. But anyway, if you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new here and you want to join me, I'd love to have you. And yeah, you guys are great. Let's do this. Okay, bye.